And I think that's okay. And let's go back over to this thing. And now that says we're live. And now we can actually go live. Okay. 17 steps later. And we're streaming on the Facebooks again. So
Cool.
I'm gonna grab this link too. I'm gonna share it with Scola because he was asking about it earlier. Um uh yeah, I'm gonna post this right here too, just for fun.
What is it?
Oh, just a link to the call. I'll just put it on my private Facebook, on my normal Facebook here. GNC launch lab day 2. Join us here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right. And we're the Zoomy Zooms. All right, we're getting it posted. All right, cool. Well,
Okay, so did you share it to the group or is it just on your personal
no,
page?
I think it's on, it should be, if everything has been done correctly with the 17 steps, we should be streaming live in the group along with everything else. So I hope so.
No, I'm gonna share it.
Yeah, it's not. So yeah, I don't know. There we go. Oh, it's still sending data over to that to the private group. So it says it's
It's
streaming
okay.
in Power Tools, it's streaming on our page and streaming on Think Big. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, Agency Launch Lab. So welcome you guys to Agency Launch Lab day 2. I'm hoping other people get the links as well so they can join us for this. And this is kind of like our mastermind program that we're putting together where we can all come in and we're talking more about we're talking about sales, we're talking about their getting out and attracting customers, talking to customers, follow up, just even getting clear on what you want out of your agency and where you want to go with it. So we've been putting a lot of stuff together, and I mean we're going to build more things like that as we go. So I'm going to snooze that call that was with Sam here. And that's the whole point of this group is to help and support you, keep hold you accountable, and keep you moving forward within your agency. So if you guys want to jump on the call, join us today, and we are going to cover a couple more things. One of the things that we're going to talk about is what we just kind of Q&A questions that we talked about on Monday, which is the big question. What do you want? And the reason why we want to know what you want is because if you don't know what you want, then how do you know if you're getting it? Kind of thing. So that's where that was our big question for Monday for this training was I wanted everyone to put together hopefully you guys got the doc that you can fill out that has the information in there about just what you want and being very clear, creating a vision for yourself so that you have a direction that you're going in. Because if you don't have a direction that you're going in, then we tend to get sidetracked and go on a bunch of different go in a bunch of different directions. It's easy to go on a tangent that pulls you away from your main mission. So what we put together is our agency launch lab. I'm just going to share this screen with you guys right now.
Do you wanna record, Jay?
Yeah, sure. So I will hit record here as well. Was it gonna let me record? Record to the cloud. Okay, so agency launch lab, what do you want? And I'd love for you guys to share with me if you guys get a chance to go through this. We are talking about what is your why. So your why is a really powerful thing to have. And a lot of people most people I would say that I have talked to don't really know what they want. People know what they don't want, but they can't tell you what they want. They haven't actually sat down to say, this is what I want. You know what? People will say, I don't want to be in debt anymore. I don't want to have to work a 9 to 5 job. I don't want to be stressed out and angry and anxious and all these other things, but they don't put into words what they don't want. So even if they go in a direction that gets them what they don't want, that makes it so they don't get what they get what they don't want, they don't get it, something has to fill that void. Something has to fill that void of what they want. And usually if you don't have a plan and you don't have a direction that you're going in, what ends up happening is that you're filling that void with something else, and that something else very much might be what you don't want, right? So we want to be clear on what we want, and that's what this worksheet here is all about. So I'm going to share it out with you guys again. I'm going to grab the link, I'm going to put it in the chat, and then maybe we can even take a few minutes to put together what you want. And this could be again, this can be very clear, make it very clear, not just what you want with like your agency or with work or whatever, but you can make it like, what does your life look like? Where do you want to go with it? Where do you want to be? What is your financial situation end up looking like, right? How many customers are you working with? How many staff do you have? Are you working in an office, not working in an office? Are you working out of your home? And what does your home look like? Are you getting a new home? Do you move into a different place? What kind of cars do you drive? Where do you go on vacation? Where do you take your kids or grandkids or anything like that? And what does that actually look like, and be clear about it. Because so many times, again, we are not clear about what we want out of life. So it's very difficult to know if we're getting that or not. So I'm going to stop sharing. I put it in chat. Let me see. I know
Can
there's
I tell a really quick
you
story?
can absolutely tell a story.
Amelia and I were away on the weekend for a tournament. And it's funny because on the way home, I was listening to a podcast all about um, detachment, like not being so, like hanging on to something so tight, right, that it won't happen. And so I can talk about that a little. It was about money mindset and like wanting money so bad. And have you ever noticed how when you stop worrying and stop thinking that way, all of a sudden money does come. Like all of a sudden things do come when you're not constantly checking your bank account, you're not constantly checking your email, you're not constantly like money, 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 like a psycho ex-girlfriend stalking somebody, right? Like with that kind of energy, nobody wants to be around you. Things don't come to you that easily. So we are listening to a podcast about that on the way home. And something that popped up was uh, exactly what you just said. Sometimes we put out there what we don't want, and then we actually get exactly that. So we were pulling into the hotel parking lot, and Amelia said specifically, I really hope we don't get a hotel room on the main floor of the hotel. That freaks me out. It scares me. I don't want that. How often does that actually even happen? Like very rarely do you end up in a hotel room on the main floor of a hotel. Usually you're not. Like, I don't even know. I think there's been one time that we've ever had a room like that. She didn't like that. She said that we walked in to check in. We had the only room on the main floor of the hotel. And she looked at me like, what the heck? And on the way home, she's like, that's why that happened. And I don't know like how into all of that you guys are. I'm pretty like I firmly believe that you get what you put out there. You get what you want, you get what you prepare for. Another story, James Wedmore is it was a coaching call that we were listening to, and he was talking about how a few weeks ago he decided that he wanted an office space for it's Business by Design. I don't know if you guys know who James Wedmore is. He's got a really big, amazing thing going on online. And he decided he wanted this giant office space, and he put in an offer to buy the building. And the day had come where the offer was either going to close or go away, basically. If it didn't close that day, then the office space it wasn't going to happen. And so he hadn't heard from anybody as far as like where do I bring a check to? How much of a deposit do I need to pay today if this closes? All he knew is that he had a coaching call he had to get on to and whatever. And so he decided to prepare as though it was happening. And that's kind of what I wanted to chat about today. And I think this is a really good segue into that, is that he decided he was going to go drive to the bank and it will all work out, right? It will all work out. He had no idea how much money he needed to pay to close this deal, whatever. He got in the car, drove to the bank, went and stood in line at the bank, pulled out his phone to call his lawyer and find out, like, how much money am I taking out? Like, how much of a cashier's check do I need here? And at that moment, he received a message saying, like, the deal is closing. We need a check for this amount at this address, at this time. And so it's all about really firmly knowing what you want, putting those actions in place, and then acting as though it's happening, if that makes sense. So, like, if you want $100,000 car, I don't know if you guys want that, but if you wanted that, where were you going to park it? Can you prepare that space? Like, can you make space for it? I'm a firm believer in that. And I really truly believe that. Like, if you behave in the way that somebody who's already running $1 million agency, so how does that person start their day? What does that person think about? What are ways that you can really put yourself on that path as well? And then the next thing is, I added it to the bottom of the document that you made, Jason.
Yeah.
Is active appreciation. So I put I made a copy of the document that you made on Monday, and I've put a lot in there. And I went shopping online for a house. I want a house on the beach. So I went and I looked online to see, like, what is on the market right now in Kelowna on the beach. What are those houses worth? I went as far as to, like, fill out a mortgage payment calculator. Like, what are mortgage payments on that house? How much of a down payment do I need for that $3 million house? Then I started thinking, like, what about it? Like, would an acreage or like a orchard be better? Like, really start to look at, what do you want? And, like, what does it cost? And what will that take, right? But then it's also really important to remember where you are and appreciate where you are as well. So, what do you have right now, and what do you want? What do we have right now as far as all of the amazing people inside of our community that are using all the tools that you've built, that are showing up on these calls, that are inside of our Facebook group, that are opening up our emails? Like, we have thousands of people opening up our emails, the emails that I'm sending out every day. They're opening them and they're reading them. And so I'm appreciative of that, and I'm grateful for that. And I want more of that, maybe you want to have 50 clients inside of your agency, each paying you whatever per month, right? Reoccurring revenue. But what do you have right now? And really think about that. And I think the active appreciation. Maybe you want to upgrade your car. Maybe it's not $100,000 car, but maybe it's just, for me, I would like a new vehicle with a sunroof, with, new seats that are clean, that aren't gross from my kids' breakfast, lunch, and dinner in there. But I'm also very appreciative of the fact that I have a vehicle that is safe, that gets us around. that starts all no matter what that, like, so what are things that we have that we appreciate right now in order to allow for more of that to come in?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. Like 100% hear what you're saying. I mean, with with the kids, they like to leave the vehicles very, very gross. And it's interesting. Miguel, who's on here, Miguel, how are you doing today? If you could message us and let us know,
Oh, hey,
or
I'm doing
jump on.
good.
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Action.
Yeah.
So where are you at with like you with everything, like with your high level journey and everything, or business or whichever?
Actually, it's been a back and forth thing with me just because I work full time and sometimes I could spend to 80, 100 hours a week. It kind of just depends, but I recently just started I have a little whiteboard in my room now. Basically, I put like 3 to 4 things and I have to cross them out, during that day. I have something on
Excellent.
the side for the week and something for the day that I need to achieve. So I started trying to prioritize my life more than my work. So I'm hoping to actually finally start getting the ball rolling with things. I did buy the 1597 plan about a year
Excellent.
ago, but
Yeah.
I haven't really done much with it. So I'm trying to actually, get things going. I'm trying to get something going by this month for sure. So right now, I do have a laser engraver. I've been printing some QR codes. So one of my friends
Okay.
has a car wash, so I'm gonna get him started with that.
That's awesome. Um, what do you think has been like, I mean, what do you think has been holding you back from moving forward with your agency, or like getting this stuff done online?
So at the very beginning, I was doing like a lot of cold calling, and I mean, I'm not somebody to I have a hard time, I guess, speaking to other business owners. I become a little too technical
Okay.
and I kind of lose them. I talk about all the features, things like that. So
Amen. Amen. What's up,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Hi.
like one of the things that I've learned over the years is and it honestly comes from um learning how to write copy, right? Learning how to write sales copy is to focus less on the features of an item and more of the benefits, right? What you're going to get out of something and how to use it. And what I've learned over the years is how to speak technical to put things in like layman's terms for a business without talking too technical, because I can 100% hear what you're saying of getting there and being too technical with things. um but then yeah, just kind of almost simplifying what we talk about with just not dumbing it down, but putting it in terms that other people will understand. Because we get really excited about the tech stuff, and then it's easy to go into this is this feature, this is that feature, this is what all these things. But then really getting into the heart of, but this is what it's actually going to do for you. Here's how it's going to make your life better. So writing a simple task is to and I'll share this. I'll see if I can find it, but it is simply writing out 5 features of the system and then writing out what the actual benefits of that are. So that when you go in to talk about something, you can talk about how it works for that customer, what the benefit is to them rather than just the feature. Like, I mean, we can go in there, we can send out SMS messages, we can send email, you can do missed call text back. You can go talk about all those things, and you probably experience it where a customer's eyes will glaze over, right? They're just like, yeah,
yeah.
okay. Awesome.
Mhm.
They're like, I don't even know what that means because it doesn't mean anything to me. So writing out, here's the feature, but then really thinking about what is the actual benefit of that item, what's the benefit of them? How does it change your life? And what a simple thing you can ask yourself is it's called so what. It's like, so we can send SMS messages, and then you ask yourself, so what? Like, what does that mean? And then it's like, okay, so you can follow up with your customers after, after they've been in. Okay, so what? Okay, so what? Why does that matter? Because then we can stay in touch with them, and we'll keep your business top of mind so they don't go somewhere else. And then you can keep going like, okay, so what? Like, why does that matter? Because you'll follow up with those customers and you'll make more sales because they'll come in more often, right? And you keep going through like that, and then it just trains your brain to think in a little bit of a different way of how to speak about the benefits and features of the product that you're selling, so that it'll put it in terms that the business will think about. Oh, okay. So you can even say, okay, we got SMS messaging so that you can follow up with your customers, so you're not leaving sales on the table, so that you guys will make more sales because people are always thinking about you, and they'll come in more often and give you more of their money. you know but that's something they'll understand. More money, customers coming in, I like it. And that all comes from, we can send out and follow up with SMS messages. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's like that's a little like thing that you do, and I'll challenge you to do that. Like this week, go write out 5 or 10 things that high level can do, and then write out the so what, like what's the actual benefit of it, and then speak about those benefits when you're talking to someone.
Yeah, and that's also great social media content, reels, posts inside of other Facebook groups. Like that's the kind of content that will stand out because it's helpful. I'm from the perspective of a small business owner. I owned hair salons for years. And anybody who came to me about marketing, I did not listen. Like no, thank you. I'm fine. Even though things weren't necessarily fine, but it just all seems the same, really. So unless you can lead, really understand that person, and that type of business as well, I think when you're starting out, it's important to think about maybe one type of business that you can really relate to as well, so that you can really learn why certain features are better for that one type of business too, would be probably a really good place to start. I see a hand up over there.
Yeah. How did your meeting go?
That's what I was about to say. Miguel, I can actually share a real world experience, like fresh off the press, like literally just happened before I got on this call.
Yes.
How I told Jason that I had a onboarding meeting with a bar owner, and Miguel, I got to the same point where I had to, I was almost hyperventilating because I wanted to geek out and tell him all the features. But that's what I have Danica for. She's able to go out and have those conversations, and I have a cheat sheet because I know what they care about by the time they come in. So I only
Right.
to those features instead of geeking out on everything, and geek out on solving the issue that really matters to them.
Yeah.
And it went really, really well today. It went really
Yeah.
well. Yeah, yeah. So he's ready to go. Like I told Jason, I'm still working on my onboarding system, but I think today gave me a lot of confidence that I just got to pace myself, and that's what I would tell Miguel. Uh, Listen more than you talk, and try to figure out what their issue is, and speak only to that issue. Everything else becomes a bonus. But they want to know how you can solve their issue. So I echo everything that Shan and Jason is saying. I'm telling you, it works in real life. I just got finished doing it. And
Yes.
the more you do, the more, and Jason told me this. He said, the more you do, the more people you get in front of, you'll start to tweak and you'll start to learn more and perfect your approach. So,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you guys.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
good
well, and I
job getting
think
out
like
there.
I wanted to ask, can I ask a couple questions about that? Like as far as a bar owner,
Yes.
do you find their problems the solutions that you're providing for them will be even a little bit different than like what a family type restaurant would be, correct? Yeah.
Yes, so I'll tell you exactly what really wowed him. Right now, what he's doing right now, really old school. He has in his phone a list of contacts from literally groups of text messages. He only could put 15 in there. So it's from A to M. So every time he has a daily lunch special, he has to go through each one of those lists. Send out this text, send out that text, copy and paste, send out that text. So when I showed him that, I had him actually demo it, and he got the text, and we walked through, and he was like, "Wow, you mean I could press one button and it goes out to everybody?" He was like, "Yeah, sign me up right now."
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
he didn't even care about the other features. He didn't even
Oh,
care about anything else. That was the biggest headache for him. So just
Yeah.
to start that, everything else was a bonus. And Danica, the top salesman, just came on. She the one that closed that deal, and she's been a beast.
amazing.
So she just came on. Um,
Nice. Yeah, you know
yeah,
what? It's funny, like thinking about the tech, you guys. I had 3 calls last night. I'm talking with people who are starting agencies more than I'm talking with businesses now. Like that's kind of where Jay and I are trying to shift and support you guys while you support those businesses.
yeah,
But they don't know. Like the things that we know are way over and above what the average small business owner knows. They might know MailChimp, maybe,
Yeah.
right? Like they might
right,
know that they can hit boost on a Facebook post. Like they might be getting used to scheduling social media. Like they they don't know even a quarter of this stuff. So yeah, that one thing, right? So now could you just package that one thing? We're going to get your list in order for you. That one thing,
yeah, yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
Jason, if you remember on the way I tweaked the demo site that you sent
Yeah.
me, I put the values that they get at the top. I'm going in and tweaking that now just after what I learned today. You know what I mean? Just like Shan just said, one of the things that they worry about is having that list, having it right there, directly marketing to their group instead of going through Facebook and fighting through the whole crowd of get your people to come in and directly market to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
that's exactly
sure.
it. I like calling it like a captive audience. You have an audience that's captive, like you've captivated, like they're captive to you. You know you have them, and you can reach out to them anytime you want.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, rather than again relying on social media. Is
Yeah.
social media going to post this for me today? You
Well,
know,
it's a
if I
big
if I put out a
problem.
lunch if I put a lunch special out today, are people going to see it today or in 3 days from now?
That's
You
right.
know?
Like this weekend coming up, for instance, it's Mother's Day coming up. How many businesses are posting on social media, whatever they've got going on for Mother's Day? And some people won't see that till next week. Like, what if you could just send something to your a text, not an email that lands in junk,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
one thing that he mentioned to me is from day to day, he said, I don't even know what I'm cooking until that morning. So
Yeah.
now I'm trying to cook and I'm trying to send out all these texts. You mean to tell me I can press one button and it goes out? I said, yes. He said, sign me up.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then yeah, what are you charging them for that?
For the thing, like I told you, my base price is $350 a month.
Yep.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Well, so
That's awesome.
Hello,
Yeah. And
everyone.
Hi.
hello.
Hi, guys.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was actually on some sales run just a minute ago.
That's
she
I
awesome,
love
won't
guys.
she won't stop.
the thing is too, is like once you get going, you want to keep doing more, right? Just like fitness, just like all of that. Once you actually go through the steps and you somebody gets that light bulb and they're excited and they're paying you and they're happy to pay you and it's really not much work once you've got it set up, then it's so easy to just keep going. I know I was talking to somebody on the phone last night and she said she's scared to sell because she's actually scared to set the system up. Like she's scared because she's not really sure about setting everything up, right? And I just said, well, everything is set up. Like everything is basically set up and there's support there. So just go sell. Don't worry about that part of like the onboarding systems and stuff you're going to be able to build. You're going to be able to build a team. Like, what does this look like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 more, 30 more. It's once you get going, it's so much, it's so cool to get that momentum going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
that's
definitely
awesome.
can relate to that because I think Jason remembers that I was telling him I was so nervous because I wanted that automation for that. And Shannon, you laughing at me. I wanted that automation for the onboarding because I'm like, I don't know what to do once I get him in there, you know.
Yeah.
But everything is set up, and I think, and Danica knows that my confidence comes from knowing the system. If I
Yeah.
know it, I believe in it already. But knowing the system, then I can answer questions that pop up. That's why she put in the love thing because we talk about it all the time. I'm like a geek in y'all system. I can promise you that.
Awesome.
When I'm actually pretty good in there too. Like I set up ads yesterday, lead ads, set up a workflow, like set everything up myself. I didn't have to ask Jason for one thing. I followed his SOP that he made. I did the email, the domain and the email, and like I did all of it. And I'm not techie. Like I'm
Me neither.
not.
Me neither. I'm a design guy. So
Yeah.
Jason had walked me through one time, and I felt so crazy because it was like I think the link had broken, and it was so simple to him. I just had to point. He was like, you just got to go through and point every step to the domain. So today I had the same issue, Jason. Right before the meeting, I'm panicking, and I
Yeah.
just calmed down and I thought about what Jason told me, and I went and changed the domain, pointed it, and everything worked fine. So
Awesome.
I love it.
I'm so glad
yeah,
your meeting went well. That's great.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited, man. And
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the
Well,
first time hearing because we haven't talked. I got straight out the meeting and hopped on here. So
Awesome.
mhm,
Very
yeah,
cool. Yeah, right on. That's so good, you guys. I think that's amazing. Um, I was just gonna ask you guys, did you guys I don't know if you guys had a chance to either, is do the what do you want kind of sheet. I don't know if you guys were on Monday or not, but I'm gonna get everybody to do it. I think everyone should do it. Should actually sit down and write out the training that we did for Monday. I think I shared the doc in here just a little while ago. So if you haven't done it, go through and do it. And it's such just for yourself, really is so powerful just to write out what you want and what your direction is, right? How many businesses do you want signed up? How many do you want to support? What's your vision like? And then lifestyle and everything. I think it's so important to write that stuff out. And I'm just gonna hammer it because that's kind of like our focus of this week is just really figuring out what you want. What's your scary goal for making money? How much money do you actually want to, how much do you want to bring in per month, and then what does that look like to you? I think that's so important.
yeah.
I just saw Harry jumped on and then Harry jumped off. So I was gonna ask Harry a question, but Harry is gone now. So
But I think
that's cool.
too, can I just add to this? What
Yeah.
does that look like? Let's also think about the businesses that we're serving. What does it look like for them?
Yeah.
Sam's not on this call right now, but she's got a client that was so stressed out, like she was sick, her client, before they started. She set up a few things, and now this lady with the big cleaning,
Yeah.
it's
Cleaning
not an
company.
agency,
No, it's a
cleaning,
company, just cleaning
yeah.
company.
Um, that's what we want to get really clear on too. What are those conversations like once you've onboarded them in a month from now? Like when you're just quickly sending them some reporting and they're like, you're amazing. Thank you so much. What else can you do for me? Like, what does that look like? Who are they going to go and tell? What kind of a life are they going to get to have because you've now removed like hours off of their day with the stuff that we're building and that we're setting up for them, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
So
like to look at things that way too.
I would like to know, if you don't mind, either one of y'all or both of y'all,
Yeah.
what prompted this week? Because I didn't know about it. Jason actually told it to me in a message this morning, which I thank him for. But what prompted you guys to do this?
I'll talk about that. And then Chan can chime in on it as well. Is we like helping people, and I want to see people succeed. And we did that 3-week challenge in March, which was wonderful. And it's just something we haven't done in a very long time. We actually used to do a lot more courses and a lot of training for the different niches that we're in, and somehow we got away from doing that. And one of the things with the 3-week challenge back in March was it was a challenge for everybody to kind of do the things in there and get out and make more sales and make your first $3,000 with high level. But it was just also a challenge for us to actually jump online consistently and support you guys as you go and do that. So March is good. April kind of fell off for us, and we are just like, you know what, we really need to do more of that. And in the meantime, I've had a number of people reach out and say like, hey, listen, I've been sitting on high level now for 5 months. I've been paying $300 a month for 5 months and I haven't used it yet. Or I've been in it for 10 months and I haven't really used it yet. And I don't know where to start. And they do know where to start, but they're scared to go and start. They're scared to go out and talk to somebody and go out and make the sale. And, because they're like, well, maybe I'm not talking to them properly, or how do I convey these ideas? Or how do I get them signed up? And for us, a big thing is local customers, right? Like, of course, once you get things dialed in, you can go out and you'll know your industry more. So it's easy to go out and be like, hey, I'm going to do SaaS. I can set this up. I can set that up for those customers because I understand this industry. I know what they're going through. I know what they need. I know what they want. Everything there. But until you get to that point, like, where do you start? And I think so many people are held up with that. So they're trying to do things where I've talked with a number of people who are like, hey, I just bought a list of 10,000 phone numbers and I'm going to cold call them all, or email addresses, or I took this course on cold emailing and that's how I'm going to get this thing rolling, and they've been asking me, how do I do it? So I've been having more conversations with how do I get started with high level? How do I make some money? And what do I do next? Because I feel stuck. And that's where this has kind of come from, because I know we've got 20 years experience inside of running an agency. I started my first agency when I was in 2005, when I was 25, after working at another agency for a few years and working in film and television. And I used to build stuff for TV shows and to help them do all their marketing. And then I worked with Penguin Publishing. I've got a lot of experience. And then we went through everything from like direct response, and I dug deep into like copywriting and all that. So we have a ton of experience doing this stuff, and I just want to help whoever I can with it as well too. And I think it's a great a support tool for our Power Tools stuff too. Because yeah, again, people love the tech, but then they get over techie with all the tech. So then what do we do after that, right?
I never said the N-word.
Oh, we're gonna have to
I said the N-word.
Oh my fucking goodness, fuck me in the fucking ass,
Oh
fuck
my
me in the
God,
fucking ass,
Jason.
everyone, fuck me in the ass,
Jason,
Chandel,
Jason.
Well,
Chandel,
that's
fuck me in the
not
ass,
great.
Chandel, let me see your titties, Chandel, let me see your titties,
What is
motherfucker,
that?
suck
Is
my
that from
dick,
Harry?
bitch, you fucking ass.
Oh, great.
What
Weirdos
the
everywhere.
hell?
I've had that happen before.
Yeah, I've been in the Zoom where that happened.
Let's
Weirdos
see.
are everywhere.
Spam. We're not letting anybody else in, I guess. Um, all right. Well, hey, we should just run that as an ad.
Oh man, my one armpit is sweating right now. That was quite aggressive.
Oh man, one time I
Um,
let in like 100 people and um it just started going crazy.
Okay, well,
So anyways,
Can I just quickly add to that
Yeah,
a little
you can
bit?
go with that. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for a long time, building an agency, and I mean, we've spent, I bet you, over $100,000 on our training, like Russell Brunson's Inner Circle, like tons of different masterminds.
James Wedmore, 90
I
Day
still,
Year.
I pay to be inside of a lot of memberships and groups. And for me, it's for sure the support, like helping to motivate sales, helping with it's Duncan. It's Duncan. Remove him, Jay. Quick.
Okay.
He's still there. Who's this? Okay. Okay. Whew. That's so weird.
It is weird.
And you know what? I think for me, it's also it's a sense of community too that I really want to create. You guys do the power tool stuff, you do all the tech stuff. That's great. I understand what it feels like to wake up in the morning and look at a computer and be like, I have no idea what to do right now. There's so many different things I should be doing right now, and I don't know what to do. I know I feel like it can be very lonely. Like I feel like we're missing some connection. And we're not really getting really real. Like the tech stuff is fine, power tools is fine, this big, huge Facebook group of like over 3,000 people, but nobody's really talking honestly. Like nobody's having real honest conversations. And that is what I want. Like on my what do I want page, like I want to have some real conversations with people who are showing up and doing the work. Like it's easy to keep building and keep fucking around with like packages and pricing and whatever. But I've got kids to feed and I've got a busy life with those kids. And so I've built a life where I've got that freedom and that flexibility. And now I want to help other people get that. Like really truly get that, you know?
If I may,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I may, I just wanted to, I've been trying to hold on to this, and then my train of thought left when we had those crazies come in.
I've got
But I
one
thought
more
if you-
person in the waiting room, and I don't know if I should let them in or not. It's Rebecca Smith, and I can't tell. If not, if
but
Rebecca
I
Smith
wanted to
is watching,
piggyback.
post on Facebook for me, and I'll let you in.
Don't.
I wanted to piggyback on what both of you were saying. I think my first comment was the fear of getting started. And I think once you just put yourself out there, I know for myself, I didn't know how, I kind of had a feeling that we were going to get today's client in because I will say I felt confident. And I think when I feel confident, then I'm like, okay, keep going. And I've also been able to, I think you got to change your mindset too. So your mindset has to be, you know what, even if I get that no, go to the next one, keep moving.
Yeah.
And I hearken back to something that Jason said, that unless they say emphatically no, and those don't come very often. And so there are two clients that I saw today in between the time that I got on air. I got the link and then getting on here with you guys. They didn't say no. So I want to know how do I or when do I go back? Because I want to give them time to think about it. One lady, she just was afraid of texts and emails and internet. And she's like, I don't need this, but that sounds great. It probably can help my business. But she has some other things she wants to get out the way first. So we hit it off great. She actually gave me some free candy. Praline candy, so I can't wait to taste it. But anyway, I do want to go back to her because I want to give her some time. And also the first, it was a couple that I met up with, and I just don't want to seem pushy. I just want to know, how do I improve and get to closing the deal?
So when did you talk to her today, or was it today that you talked to her, or?
Yes, I talked to one couple today, and I talked to the other another business owner today as well. So it was two places I went today.
I would almost follow up with them in like at max like 2 days ago, and 2 days. And you know what? Here's one thing that you can do in those calls as well. And when you talk to them, say, I'm going to follow up with you on this day. Say, like, I'm going to follow up with you. So today is Wednesday. I will follow up with you on Friday so that we can, so I can get your feedback and chat or whatever, and then give them a date of when you're going to follow up. And then if you haven't set a date, you can always just send them a message and say, I'm going to throw the word Brenda out there. I don't know what her name is, but hey Brenda, I really appreciated our chat on Wednesday. Just wanted to follow up and see how things are going, or if you have any questions. You don't even have to say, I read somewhere that somebody said don't say I'm going to follow up, but I'm just following up. But yeah, I mean, hey, Brenda, how are things going? Just checking in about the other day and see if you have any more questions or thoughts or anything like that. You could do that. I would say a day or two away, probably not the next day if they're like, hey, I'm going to think about it kind of thing, but it doesn't hurt to not let it go too long. I wouldn't want to let it go too long. And for sure, because today is Wednesday, Monday would be like the final day where I would let it kind of slide to. But the sooner you can do the follow-up and maybe not the sooner is the right word, but day or two, I'm gonna say, like, what is it, like dating rules? Don't text them back the next day kind of thing.
But sorry to interject here. I have kind of a different perspective.
You can, for sure.
No matter what, after every meeting I have, I follow up right away. Just like a date,
yeah,
right?
sorry. I agree with that as well.
Right away. Hey, thank you so much for taking some time out today. I know you're busy. I really appreciate that you took the time to listen to me and learn about what I'm up to. I'm really looking forward to hearing, what your thoughts are. So let me know, you could ask, like, let me know if there's another time we could jump on another really quick call. Is there another time that I could swing by again really quickly just to chat again? If somebody has said, number one, that maybe the price isn't right, if it's around price, or if they've just said, that looks great, but I just don't think that will work for me, it's because they are confused. Like, normally, when somebody has an objection around price, it's usually not price, or an objection around the fact that that's probably not for me. It's that they're not 100% clear, right? So again, two different perspectives. Jay may have a different outlook on this, but I think I always just follow up right away and just say, like, number one, super appreciate your time. Your time's super valuable. Get it? I'm still just building this business. And so these conversations are new to me as well. And I really appreciate that, that you're here in this with me. I would just really love your feedback, whether you want to move forward or not. I would just love to hear more about, what you think, how this, what I could be doing differently to communicate it differently,
Even if I'm not following up, to be like, hey, do you want to buy it now?
Like feedback
of being like, hey, do you have any feedback?
Yeah.
I do that a lot as well. So Shan's 100% right. One, today,
yeah,
you can 100% send her a message thanking her for her time and saying thank you for your time. I really appreciated our talk. And then you could say in there too, is it cool if I follow up with you on Friday to see how things are going? That's another option to put that in there as well. And then asking for feedback as well, because everybody likes to give feedback as another thing too. I'm looking for your advice or your feedback. Let me know. Love to just let me know what you think about it, and whether we get started or not. I'd just love to hear from you.
Yeah, and then have some good questions to follow up with, right? Like, so if you've got A, B, and C that you want to tackle first before this, you mind me asking, why? Like, why do you feel like you need to wait? You know, what would it look like if we just maybe did this one small thing to get started? Is that something that you'd be interested in? Right? If it's around price, if we were to remove money from the picture, would you do this? Would you take action? Like, would you move forward?
I'm also
Because
yeah. I'm also they're like I've also had people be like, I don't know if I'm ready to do this right now. And I go, well, why not?
mhm,
And then they're like,
yeah, they don't know why.
that's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. And
Yeah.
then you can bring up some objections to it as well. So with the tech stuff, you can definitely you can definitely follow up and say, and then think about some of her objections that she had during the chat that you had, and then say, and maybe there's a way that we can talk through those objections. Not say talk through the objections, but maybe there's a way that when we talk next, I can show you how easy it is to set up. I can send you some stats around SMS messaging and how it's so important. One of the cool things, she does have a problem with SMS messaging or sending text messages. Let her know that like it's like 65% of businesses now are using SMS for their marketing. If you walk into any shopping center or mall, they almost all have some type of loyalty, follow-up, rewards, something that they're doing, and they're promoting their business through text messaging. So the other thing about it, which I think is so important about the SMS messaging thing, is people aren't on your list who don't want to be there because they're opting in and asking to be part of your VIP list. You're only sending messages to the people who actually want to be on that list. So you're only sending messages to the people who are actually who have opted in, because we're not just adding people willy-nilly. We're not scraping names and phone numbers or anything like that and just sending out cold text messages. We're setting you up properly, and we're making it all legit, and everybody who signs up wants to be there. They already know, love, and trust what you do. So we're just helping them, stay more connected with you.
Yeah. That is an objection that I've heard come up quite often, is like, I don't want to be annoying. I
Yeah.
find it annoying and I don't want to be annoying. Right. So then here's another way that we can approach that as well. It doesn't need to be directly one-on-one. You could create a social media post around that one objection and kind of chat about what Jason just said there and post that on social media, add her on social media, and like tag her in it or send it to her, like get her to follow you on social media, right? And start posting some of those things as a part of your strategy and a part of your branding now, because it just might take a little bit longer for her to wrap her head around it, right? So it's
Yeah,
just another
absolutely.
way to stay in front of those people in the meantime.
There's been a number of times where we talk to somebody and they're like, I'm not ready to do it right now. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, hey, I just saw a bunch of SMS stuff. I just saw a bunch of stuff around this. I've had a chance to figure it out, and I definitely want to get started.
Yeah.
I want to do some stuff around it because especially if you're talking to like older, or depending on the business, right? The older business owners, stuff like that, they might not just have their head wrapped around it yet. It depends on how computer savvy they are as well. So again, going back to the benefits of why, and then having we should write out a list of like objections that have come up and then be able to like handle that too. How would you
I feel like I've
that too?
got that somewhere already. I was actually just writing that down on my list of things to look for.
Cool. Does that make sense, you guys?
It definitely does to
Yes,
me.
it does. Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
So I,
Mhm.
I, I had my hand raised because I wanted to kind of piggyback off of Danica, and
Oh yeah,
knowing
go
that
ahead.
we are partners in this. Uh, so I definitely tell her that the only way she loses when she goes out, because she wants to win. I know that. And I told her the only way she loses is if she don't learn something.
Yeah.
Because, when she goes out, it's not about a yes or no. It's what can you bring back to me that's of value, whether they sign up or not. And
Yeah.
she knows that's our morning talk. I just empower her to go out and learn. Like, just learn, baby. And so I, with that in mind, I do believe with some experience in sales, there are some people that you have to vet and you have to know the signs that shows that, hey, look, you're barking up the wrong tree. They're just not.
Absolutely.
From your experience, what do you say are some key factors that Danica should look for that tells her, okay, keep going, or no, that's not worth the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so the whole thing is with all of marketing and all of this stuff is a numbers game, right? The more people you talk to, again, the more people you're going to convert, right? Some people, maybe they just need to be on a nurturing thing for a little while, you'll run into some people who are just very enthusiastic about it and are like, yes, absolutely. And those are generally people who are running more ads, or they're already doing something. Maybe they're running ads to their business, but they're not doing any follow-up or anything like that with their customers. They're like, I see there's a number of restaurants in town here that I've seen running ads, and they're just running ads to their landing page, and they're just doing like an awareness campaign. So they're not doing anything with those leads when they get them, but that they're already spending money to do some marketing, right? And you can see them, maybe they're getting to a point where like, hey, we really need to do something. We need to get people through the door. And they're willing to spend some money to do it. You get other ones who they tend to be a little bit older. They're kind of established in their business, and they're just not willing to do something. They haven't done marketing. They maybe find it intrusive. They have a bad mindset around marketing. You're not gonna completely convince them right off the bat. Like you'll find when you go to talk to somebody, they'll have interest in it, right? They're like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. I like being able to message people, like the guy that you had a chat with earlier today. You'll run into people who are like, they're interested in it. And then you'll run into people who are just like, no, no, I don't
think
get
like,
it. I don't like it,
yeah.
whatever. And you can turn those people, but it just might be more, it does, again, good follow up with them. Just see if they have any questions. Stop in again. If it's not someone that you're like, they're not like low hanging fruit where they're going to be like, yeah, that's a person I'm going to sign up kind of thing. You can message them, do a follow up, and then stop in every once in a while, because maybe they just need to trust you. Maybe you just need to build a little bit of a relationship with them. And you probably know that more from sales too, is just the more you see somebody, the more you talk with them, the more trust they have in you, whether they've seen what you sell or not. It's just repetition, right?
Yeah.
And the repetition might just be your face.
I think a really good key for me though is if they're already doing it, but you can offer them a quicker way for it to be done or a more trackable way, then that's usually the best. Like, so the bar owner that you spoke with today, he's already actively doing it. He understands it's important to send out messages, right? So now you've taken the thing that he's already actively doing, and you're just making it so much quicker and easier for him to do. Now there's so much more you can introduce him to as well after, but like that initial thing. So listen to the radio in your local community. Who's spending money on radio ads? They're spending money on marketing. It'd be interesting to have a chat with them. Text this to this number. Like, how are you tracking your results from radio? Like,
that's the problem with
crazy.
radio, billboards, all those things. There's no way to track.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And then, any local businesses that are putting out offers, like there's restaurants that'll be like, it's Tuesday, it's 2-for-1 pizza night, it's pickup special. It's any businesses that are throwing down specials, then you just want to help them get that out, like, and amplify it, right? They're just posting it to social media. If
Yeah.
a business is already posting to social media frequently, then that's great. I wouldn't touch one that hasn't posted in a year. Like, what's the point in trying to educate them on something that's like, it's been around for so long now, you know?
Part of I was just in a mastermind group call before this call with a bunch of other high level agency um guys who have like hundreds, or like I think one, they all have about 100 subscribers in their SaaS accounts. One of the things, and we were talking about lead generation and how we do that, and one of the things that one of the guys said specifically for his niche was, running ads was fine. Getting customers was fine. But what I found was the best customers were the ones who were most motivated. And he was talking about real estate, and he was talking about generating leads for his agency clients. But he said the ones who convert the best are the ones who are most motivated, right? So if you can have a look and see which ones are most motivated to get going, somebody who they have a pain point, they have a problem, that it's there. It's just, can we see it? Again, when they start running ads, and maybe they've never run ads before, if they're posting more, if they're doing a lot of sales kind of thing, those people might be more motivated to sign up to more marketing, right? Get somebody to actually help them with that. So there's definitely criteria out there, but a really good point that Jake said was, when they found the leads for their customers that were the most motivated, that is those are the ones that are converting the best. So I'm not going to say I can't say exactly how you find the ones that are most motivated for your niche, but it's also like what Russell Brunson says in I think it's Expert Secrets, which was, or it was the first book that they put out there, was, you want to go fishing in the pond where the fish are, right? You want to go fishing where the fish are. So finding out where those people go so you can get in front of them and speak their language at that time with the right bait and the right hook works well. Like is good idea as well. I don't know if that's too mumbly from me or whatever, but it was just a thought, and it just made me think of our mastermind call earlier this morning where we were talking about leads, and the good point that because Jacob, who was on the call, he doesn't do real estate stuff, but he was just trying to figure out they're generating leads for their clients similar to what we do, right? And they're a Facebook ad agency, and he's like, well, how are you guys doing it? What have you found that works the best? And Jake's advice was that when we were able to dial in and find the customers who were the most motivated to buy, that was it. And I've also talked with another agency who just said when they started doing advertising and they had people reaching out to them, their conversion rates went way up too. They were able to close 75% of the people who reached out to them, saying that they're interested, versus doing a lot of cold calling, and then convert like 10% of people or 2% or whatever.
And actually that brings me to, that's perfect. That's a perfect way to, I can't even with how a perfect way. We are going to throw down a free 5-day challenge next week. And it's going to be an introduction to the Launch Lab. So yes, there will be something that you can buy at the end of next week. But next week, what we're going to focus on is setting your agency up so that you do have people coming to you as well. I just wrote that down, Jason, like this morning before our call.
That's we're all about fast action over here.
Yeah, we're just going to do it. We're throwing down. We don't have a registration page ready. We'll have that out later on today. 5 days. We're going to go live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. And then we're going to have quick like check-in implementation type stuff on Tuesday and Thursday as well. We are going to work on building your brand, your business, your agency, so that it's easy, first of all, to keep reaching out to people and onboarding and selling. But now let's actually build your brand so that people are coming to you. So that if you wanted to run some ads to generate leads for your agency, then you could do that. Like that's my wheelhouse, 100%, is like driving traffic and taking, what you have in place and then putting some fuel on that fire and cranking it up. So if we're looking for good leads, they're the ones that raise their hands and say, yes, I'm interested before you go and have a meeting, right? I think so. So that is, we're gonna continue on, and we're gonna keep sharing our wins. I'm coming up with a really fun little like score sheet or scorecard that we're gonna use along the way to track our outreach, to track how many people we're closing, to track an easy way to track like who you need to follow up with and when. I'm excited to share that next week. It's something that I wish I would have had 10 years ago when we started out, and sales has always been my favorite thing. And so if that's interesting to you, it'd be great to see you guys in there. Obviously, there will be replays if you can't make it on with us live, but we really do truly love having conversations and hearing the questions that you have so that we know what we can provide as far as the support that I feel we need to create and keep giving alongside the tools that Jason is, right? We've built all these amazing tools. That's great. Our goal is for you to have 100 accounts using Power Tools, right? That's our goal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What can we give you to get there? So something that I talked with on a call last night with somebody about was like, I can help you structure a really quick webinar type thing where you could attract restaurant owners, bar owners, whatever that is, from all over the world with the right messaging.
And I think it's huge right now we're going through this absolutely right now, is building your brand. Building your brand so that you're recognized by the community that you're in as the go-to person. And it's always been like that, but it seems like it like ebbs and flows, where it's like we get into something else and we get onto something else and we get back to this thing and we go over to here. But really, I think truly as an agency owner, I've always found is the more you can build your brand, the more that you're out there, the more like info that you can give, the more people trust you, and then you have people coming to you saying, hey, I want to work with you.
Yeah, for sure, when they're ready.
Awesome. Well, hey, one more question.
Yeah, I heard Shan said that the best lead is the one that raised their hand. So immediately after you said that, Shan, I raised my hand.
There you go.
Very, very interested, and I don't even have to have a pushback of saying I got to talk to my wife because she's already on the line. But I'm very interested in what the Launchpad is, and you have a strong lead right here.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we do, and we want to keep helping you and create some of these systems and structures, or just share ones that we already use inside of our agency as well, is the goal, right? Like, you got a proposal to write for this kind of a business, guaranteed we've done it. Like, we can share it. You need ads for this type of a business, guaranteed we've done it. We can share it. You want to add a team member to your team, you need an SOP for something, like, we've got all of that. And so that's kind of what the new program will be.
I'm gonna share my screen for 1 second here. This is the number of quotes that I've written 2 businesses in my life.
That's just in the last 10 years, probably.
Oh yeah,
Like-
20, yeah, this is going back 2015, 14, 13, 12, 2010. So 2010 is where, 2009, 2008. So these are all the quotes that I've written since 2008 are all in this in here. So I don't even know how much that is. 905 items, I think it says.
Wow.
So, I mean, we've got it. Like anything, don't
Yeah.
delete it. Don't delete
Oh,
it.
just hit delete right now. See you later.
No.
Gone.
Honestly, we do. We've got anything that any agency would need to grow. We've spent years building it and we're ready to share it all. Babe, you're sharing your screen. You're sharing
is it?
your
I don't even
Yeah.
know what it is. Oh, it's just a
So we will send out more information about our challenge next week. Tomorrow, we are doing another live workshop for the restaurant niche. And we've actually got sales tools and things like that I'm going to release on that call tomorrow. And we're going to talk more about like pricing and packaging and things like that for the restaurant industry, how to reach out to restaurant owners, the life of a restaurant owner, what it's like to onboard more restaurants and all of that fun stuff. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. That is at what time? 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I think.
it's 12 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. And
12 o'clock
then, yeah, Monday, we're going to kick Monday off with a really solid, like sales planning day for the week. And then we're going to hit some big goals next week.
Awesome. I'm excited, you guys. Courtney, Miguel, Danica. Thanks for joining us on here, you guys, today.
Danica, thank you guys.
I appreciate it.
Amazing.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean we've also have, as part of everything, we have our live tech support calls tomorrow. So if you guys have any questions about support stuff, absolutely feel free to jump on those calls. I'm not going to say same bat time, same bat channel, but I mean, it's on Facebook and we're around. So we'll see you guys tomorrow then. Anyways, so you guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. And
Jason, could you walk me through the tomorrow on the tech call? Could you walk me through how to use that onboard automation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Let's go through that and have a look at it. I'll give you an overview of it. It's you'll want to kind of customize it to work for you, depending on what you're setting up for your customer, but all the tools are there for it.
Okay.
That works for sure.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Congrats, you guys. I love that you jumped on to share that with us today.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you, thank you.
Y'all so much. Thank y'all so much.
Good
We really appreciate it.
job. Okay, bye.
all right. Talk to you guys
Bye.
soon.
Take care.
Okay, bye.